Hello, I'm Michael, and welcome back to The Salty Christian. Today's video is what you might call a primer for future events. Biblical salt stands for truth, so here we go. This is a hard, long message of truth about our tech-based world. If you understand this message, you're going to be in a much better position for future events, folks. Storms are coming on this world in a very short order. My main focus is here in the United States, but this applies worldwide. Some of the storms started long ago, slowed but sure effects, changes, influences, and subtle, harmless-looking changes that were framed as fair and necessary. But they weren't. Or right in our fallen perception point of view, but not true to God's plan for us or His design for human society. God's plan for our world was simple, a basic, fulfilling life. We've imposed our will on the world we don't own. It was made for us by a creator who is supposed to be a fundamental part of every life here. Our wants go against his will. He says no and we say yes, and so it's been, and our world's a mess because of it. So he has stepped back. He gave us a choice and we made it. But God will not be mocked, people. Galatians 6:7, do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what he sows. Actions have consequences, and while we might be able to deceive ourselves, we cannot deceive God. Our perceived good intentions will not stand on Judgment Day. We disobeyed. And yes, the enemy has been guiding us away from Him at every turn. Every year, month, day, hour, minute, and second. We're born in sin because of Him, and most here will die in it. His role is to make sure you do. He's your enemy. But on an individual basis, we can fix our conditions with God. And in the end, that's what matters. Salvation is still available to everyone, for now. But you can't have it and remain the same person. You have to stop living your way and start living His way. You have to change, and if you haven't, then nothing's changed. Don't kid yourself. Admit it and then get right with God for real. This is important. Because this is the only truth there is. You can be saved, but you have to ask for it and be willing to do what's required to receive it. He can hold out the gift, but you have to accept it. So what does this have to do with the storms that are coming? Everything. Only He can save you from the storm's fury that's coming this way. It's going to be bad. So here we are near the end of 2025. You and I cannot go back and fix this. Done is done. God's world looks nothing like His plan for it. We made sure. So the stage is now set for the enemy's main power play. His big push to finally make God just a myth. A bygone primitive superstition with no place in His technological world. After all, it was the tree of knowledge He convinced Eve to eat of, remember? And He said we would be like God. So now we think we're God. Men and women now know their own gods in their own minds. But wait, gods have to create, right? Yes, and now using technology, we're about to create again. Man's greatest achievement, or Satan's prodigal son, AI, artificial intelligence. Many technologies have changed this world, the wheel, powered flight, splitting the atom. But this is different. We created those things through the use of our minds Creator gave us. Good or bad, that capability was given us by God in His design for us. The capability was there. In the garden, Adam and Eve had limited knowledge. The tree of knowledge was forbidden for them. Was it always going to be that way? The tree was planted in the garden. There must have been a reason for it. The enemy used it to bring a separation from God for mankind. Because we disobeyed. Not because knowledge was always going to be kept from us. God was interacting with us daily, teaching and instructing. Maybe we weren't ready yet. I think we weren't. History bears that out. Maybe we still aren't. When most people think of AI, they think of the movies, a form of computer science that gives machines some sort of human intelligence. It's been portrayed as a curse or a blessing, a monster or a god. So let's look at the monster they will declare God. The future is at the doorstep, folks, and it's dark. So let's get salty and put some light on it. First, the basics. AI can be broken into three main stages. ANI, artificial narrow intelligence, often called weak AI, is already embedded in our daily lives. A nice way to describe it is it will master singular tasks beyond human potential with incredible consistency. Next, you got AGI, artificial general intelligence. This is the AI of the movies, a machine capable of understanding the world as well as we do. Not here yet, they say, maybe 2026. Then you got ASI, artificial superintelligence, and an intellect that greatly exceeds the cognitive performance of humans and is virtually in all domains of interest. It's going to be better than us. The news every day is full of new developments and milestones broken. Free use limited versions of the system have already been rolled out. AI is already projected to cause massive layoffs in many job markets. These systems are already changing lives as we know it for the average person. You talk to them every day when you call someplace. So let's go beyond the basics now. Let's talk about real salty truth. This will change everything. The world's governments are now in a new arms race. They openly state that people that can develop that ASI AI model will control the world's economy and direct mankind's future. They believe it will cure all illness, maybe even conquer death itself. And let's acknowledge another truth. When they talk about it at its current level of this tech, it's not the true level. That's for public consumption. Most technology of this magnitude is 5, 10, or even 20 years ahead of published capabilities. So how long do we have before we hear the proclamation? The new God has been born. I don't know, but we will hear it. Sooner than later, I believe. So what can we do? Nothing to stop it. They're going to do it. The book may say it will happen. Many believe that certain verses describe an AI that will be used by the end times by the Antichrist. Revelation 13:15. And he had the power to give life unto the image of the beast. And the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Some kind of AI-controlled digital currency will probably be used to keep those who haven't taken his mark from buying or selling, as stated in Revelation 13:17. This verse says that no man might buy or sell save that he had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. It's been prophesied. These events are not too far in the future. Canada is about to roll out a digital currency and the U.S. won't be far behind. It will happen. It just makes sense, whether we like it or not. And just so you know, Canada has decided to remove almost all guns from their country in the next year. This is mandatory and it's in progress right now. They plan to give up their sovereignty and become a digital global entity in the future. These things are happening. We won't stop them. This doesn't mean we're in the end times, folks, but it just means that we now have some of the things developing that could allow it to happen. And I've said before, and the first time you can do something is not the last time it can happen. The enemy is basically behind all of this. He's been behind all these changes. His motto is that God wants it one way. Convince them to go the other way. For us here in the U.S., he's been busy. Our country is almost unrecognizable from the country of the 1950s when I grew up. 75 years has brought us to a sin-ridden, unmoral series of generations that believes they are above all rules and will submit to no authority, not even God himself. They live for the moment with no regard for anything but themselves. This is the current state of a large percentage of the current generation. And the next will be worse, if there is a next generation here. You see, we may not be around much longer as a superpower, as the world's police force, as much of anything. So let's discuss that. Let's get really salty. I'm not even talking about the end times from the Bible. I think we're long gone before that's as a superpower, before that ever happens. So before I start this part of the video, I have to warn you, you won't like what you're about to hear. So be warned. I'm getting salty here and it's going to be harsh. You've been warned. The book of Revelation gives detailed accounts of what will take place in the end times. The 7-year period discussed takes place in and around Israel and the whole world is involved. Many nations are major players in the next text, most referenced by the biblical names, not modern names. But the main players like Russia, Turkey, Iran, China, Arabia, Egypt, and most of Europe are all mentioned and discussed, with one major exception. The United States of America is never mentioned. The world's military superpower and chief ally of Israel is absent. No major supporter of Israel mentioned at all. I can only surmise why. I don't have a biblical backup to quote, and I don't know the future, but I don't see us referenced in a book. So why not? I think we need to be removed or rendered powerless before the enemy will be able to move forward. I think we're no longer relevant during this time period. And no, it won't be a rapture. Get over that lie. It will be a disaster. Probably a man-made one. How could that happen, you ask? We are the world's largest military and superpower powerhouse. That doesn't mean anything anymore at all. It's no protection. We actually live in a country that if you turned off the electrical grid for 3 months, 90% of us would be dead in that same time frame. That's a fact. Look it up. So another thing you have to realize about AI, power consumption. This tech requires massive amounts of power to operate and provide cooling for the huge computer centers they are creating for it. Without energy, that tech can't exist. And we don't have it. Our electrical infrastructure is pathetic. We can't even support the electric vehicles. So what will be the outcome of all this? I don't know. If AI has anything to do with us not being mentioned in the end time description, I just don't see us in the text. And our enemies out there have their own plans about fighting the United States. They always have. Turning off the power is pretty simple, and there are numerous ways to do it. Overnight, with just a handful of bad actors. And that's the truth. Look it up for yourself. They've talked about it for years. We live in a house of cards. Turn off the lights and we're all dead. No nuclear bombs, no invasion, just no electricity. Simple and clean and doesn't damage the real estate, folks. Times have changed. Computers run everything and they can be hacked from around the world. A few changes made and equipment that takes years to build can be destroyed. Bank accounts wiped clean. Power goes off. No running water, no waste disposal, no lights, no heat, no air conditioning. Most stores have only 3 days of food in them. No refrigeration, food spoils. Gas pumps stop, traffic lights out. Hospitals are useless in a few days. No phone, no internet, no rescue, no help coming. A country with 340 million people with 350 million guns, all trying to stay alive. End of our country, folks. Period. That's the truth. Will it happen? Don't know. Could it happen? Yes, it could. That's the truth. There are so many ways to do it, I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet. Only through God's grace and patience for a nation and the human race that has turned its back on Him are the only reason we're all still here. The United States has become a laughingstock of the whole world, a pathetic once grand experiment. We are now arrogant, fat, lazy, and stupid. The average IQ has dropped 10 points every 10 years for the last 50 years here. Look it up. Look up the Flynn report on IQ in developed nations. It's right out there on the internet. Our education system is pathetic and demonic, full of ungodly people teaching lies and hatred of God. This is truth. Only technology and money have kept us safe, and the fact that our country was a manufacturing powerhouse at one time. But that's all gone now. We've sent it overseas. We've destroyed it for stupid reasons, put forth by groups trying to save a world we don't own and can't save. Only God can do that. They did it for causes and belief systems that have nothing to do with the truth, God's truth. God is in control, but we want control. So He steps back and lets us destroy ourselves. And we never learn. The enemy laughs and blinds us with selfish, lustful desires and ungodly lifestyles, and we demand more. The modern churches have failed this country, watering down Christ's message to so that no one feels the need to pick up the cross and follow him. They don't preach consequences. They preach lies about non-judgmental love over truth. When there is no greater love than God's truth that sinners go to hell. God doesn't love or recognize sinners. God's love for us was his son on the cross. He gave us a way back through him. Sinners see his wrath, and that's truth. If you don't turn to Christ, you burn in hell. It's very plain. We, as under salvation through his son, are ordered to share his message. How many times have you so-called Christians ever shared the gospel with anyone? You claim salvation, but you won't spread the message. What makes you think you have it? Don't kid yourself. Pick up that cross or die in your sins, folks. Here's the truth about the churches in the United States. Those who can do. Those who can't do, they preach. If you aren't being taught to get out and spread the word, find another church that will. Most of the people around you every day are going to hell. You're supposed to educate them so they know how to ask Christ for salvation and maybe receive it. If you're not doing that, why not? Find a way. Storms are coming. Times are changing. And only Jesus Christ can calm the storms around you and in you. Share the truth. That's your cross to bear, folks. Nothing has changed about that. Without Christ, hell is certain. With him, salvation. That's the only real truth in this world. God's world, God's way, God's truth, period. Find the simple peace he gives us. Nothing that happens here matters if you belong to Christ. It's temporary. He's forever. Free yourself from the worries of the world. Tell others and let them take care of the rest. Let him take care of the rest. That's what he asks us to do, nothing else. You run around worried about this, that, or the other thing, when your only worry should be if you're doing what he told you to do. It's so funny. I wonder if he laughs or shakes his head about that one. So that's it for today, folks. In our next video, we talk about not getting caught up in the noise. How to come to grip with the changes around you as the storms rage, and then the demonic pulse beats faster. And how to command it to be silent and depart from you in Jesus' name. This is information you need, and I'm going to supply it. So let's get salty.